You're listening to the Practical Wealth Show with Curtis May.
All right, guys. Hey, welcome to another great episode of the Practical Wealth Show. So today we're going to talk about business credit. Because, one of the things as we're still in the midst of this shutdown, people need access to capital. So I teach save it, but you want to be able to have access to other people's money. So I have business credit expert, Stephen Wible. So I'm going to use his bio. Stephen's a Marine Corps veteran, thanks for service, and with a deep background in real estate sales, flipping, property management, print manufacturing, building and obtaining business credit. So he has founded and led multiple successful companies and has had as many as 300 plus rental properties. He's a public speaker, author of Business Credit, the complete step-by-step guide. He's a trainer and an avid learner. He passionately combines his high energy business credit knowledge and recognized expert in the field. He provides impactful insight into building business credit, obtaining loans for business, teaching and presenting to thousands. He's a director of business development for Credit Suite Inc., the recognized leader in teaching business owners how to build business credit. That is not tied to your Social Security number. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Thanks, Kurt. Who is that guy you were just talking about? I don't recognize
that guy. He's a brilliant guy.
I'm just me.
People's like, wait, that me? Yeah, I'm pretty important. Okay, let's take out the trash.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess once you cross that 50-year-old threshold, you start, the accomplishments start, you can look back and go, wow, I guess I did a lot.
Right. Look, I was just in high school. Where did that happen? And I was when I got in the insurance business, I was the youngest person in my office, and I was like 21. It's like now I'm like the old, in Philly they call, they say up here, you're from New Jersey, old head, And I would go play basketball. They would start calling me, hey, you want to run, old head? And I was like 29. I was like, what? I can still dunk at 29. Are you crazy? So anyway.
Oh, man, that's funny. That's funny. It's funny. Actually, I'm really excited to be talking to you, Kurt, because as you mentioned, I'm from the Philadelphia area. I'm down in Florida now, so I love talking to my peeps.
There you go.
Not everybody.
East Coast, North Philly. You're from Philly, from South Jersey, Cherry Hill. So like that, the pace is different.
Yeah, it is. And I worked in South Philadelphia my whole life growing up. Like I was always in South Philadelphia doing something with somebody.
Yeah.
Legal.
Right. All right. Anyway. So we had too much fun. So let's start with this. So what is, tell me exactly what for our listeners is business credit?
Great question. So business credit, the way I describe it, is simple. It's credit that's tied to your business, to your EIN, not to you personally. Mm-hmm. See, just like the IRS recognizes your business as its own individual, and keep in mind, I'm not talking about sole proprietors, strictly LLCs or S Corp, C Corp. It recognizes it as its own individual. That individual can build its own business credit profile, can build its own credit profile. Okay. Just like we as individuals build our own credit profile, whether it was somebody co-signing for us when we first started out, or we got a furniture card or something.
Right.
Because it's been ingrained in us to put our Social Security number on everything when they present us an application with that blank Social Security, right. We just do it out of habit. It's what we've been taught. What people don't realize is you can leave that blank. Just leave it blank when you're applying for credit if you're applying for it in the business name. Now, you can't put anything else in those blank. That's actually against the law. You can't write you can't write your EIN number. You can't write your DUNS number. But if you leave it blank, they have no choice but to run your business credit. Now, just like when you apply for a mortgage or a credit card, they run your Experian or your TransUnion or your Equifax,
right,
or all three. Business credit has its own reporting agencies as well. Now, one of them is Experian, one of them is Equifax, but there's also something called Dun & Bradstreet, your D&B.
Okay.
You get a PAYDEX score. So they are forced to run that credit report if you won't put your social on there. And if you have a solid profile, you can get approved without personally guaranteeing anything.
So can any business get business credit?
Yes, absolutely. If I start a business today, if I literally registered while I was talking to you, within 6 to 9 months, I should have between $60,000 and $100,000 in credit. And just by following a process, it's actually very simple. What's great about business credit, Kurt, is, and this is straight from the SBA, business credit limits tend to be 10 to 100 times higher than personal credit limits.
Wow.
Which makes sense. Think about it. I'll use something simple that everybody can relate to. A truck driver, over-the-road trucker, right? Delivering us food right now, thank God.
Right.
They, as an individual, that driver may buy $100 in fuel per month for his car. But as an over-the-road trucker, he's spending typically between $5,000 and $10,000 a month in fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, if he applies for a fleet credit card, personally, he might get a $500 limit. But as a company, he might get a $50,000 limit. Big difference, right?
Big difference, yeah.
Game changer, as a matter of fact, for truck drivers. So
yeah, because you're not tying up your money, and you gotta, you can make money and then get paid and then pay the bill.
Well, what's even great. I had a customer that actually did not only that. He used their credit to fund his fuel, kept the cash in his pocket, and bought a second truck cash.
There you go.
Right, and now he's got twice as much income. So he leveraged this huge fuel company's money to buy a truck because he couldn't get approved for a truck. His personal credit wasn't good.
Right.
So I taught him how to do this. 6 months later, he's writing our CEO a letter saying, wow,
right.
Game changer.
See, that's because you have to think, part of that, I call that creating, leverage and then creating velocity. So he used leverage to buy another assets that could generate more money than it costs to service the debt. Because you can't shrink your way to wealth. You've got to learn how to make your money move faster. And that's how the big companies handle money. And so I've got two questions. One, I want to go to you mentioned the credit. How does a business start and build a credit profile? And then I want to go into the other thing we talked about, the fundamental.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fundability. Okay.
Fundability. Yeah.
So actually one relates to the other. So in order to build your business credit profile, there are certain things, certain creditors that will approve you in the beginning. If you have nothing reporting, as a matter of fact, here's the problem with business credit. There's the downside. As an individual, as a person, if you have no credit, the credit reporting agencies, they report no beacon, is what they say. So there's no score, right? Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, when you have nothing reporting on your business credit report, they actually give you a failing grade. They put that you are a high financial risk.
Wow.
So even though you've done nothing wrong, zero wrong, the fact that you have nothing reporting, they basically are saying they expect you to be bankrupt in the next 12 months.
Wow.
So, and here's the irony of it. 95% of business owners have never even seen their report. They have no idea what's on it. And there's probably nothing on it. Right? It's important to get your first trade lines reporting. We call them payment experiences. And there are certain companies that specialize, I guess is the word I would use, in helping business owners begin building their business credit profile. And I'll even give one of your listeners one of them right now. There's a company called Quill, Quill, Quill.com. They're basically a tiny little Amazon. They sell office supplies and coffee and inkjet and you name it. It's about 1 million products. And they will approve your business for business credit. Typically, they'll give you net 30 terms. And for listeners that don't know what net 30 means, that means that you buy something from them, they bill you, you have 30 days to pay the bill.
Okay.
And then they'll report to the credit reporting agencies. Now, they are more expensive than buying from Amazon, but you're getting the benefit of them reporting. And that's all you want. You just want somebody to report. So there's a free one for everybody. However, before you can ever get approved, you have to make sure your fundability factors are good. And this is where everybody's going, what? What's a fundability factor?
Yes. I never heard of that. Yeah.
Right. Well, what that really is a fancy name for a system that was set up by lenders and creditors to detect fraud. Okay, because in today's day and age, and this is so hard to believe, but it's a fact, 50% of credit applications are fraudulent.
Wow.
50% of online credit applications, and most credit applications are done online, are fraudulent. So lenders and creditors had to decide, how do we detect this fraud without putting in millions of man hours? Right? Because you imagine individually looking at every credit application like they used to do and trying to find the fraud. So they came up with these fundability factors, and there's like 214 of them, I believe.
Wow.
It's constantly changing, right? And naturally, they don't want us to know about it because that's how they're detecting fraud. They don't want the bad guys to know. I'm happy to share a few basic ones with your listeners because these are things they should be doing anyway if they own a business. And I asked you this question early on, what's your business email address, right?
Right.
and you would give me a true business email address, correct?
I will now.
Okay, so here's the thing. They're looking to detect fraud. So when looking to detect fraud, they're looking for things that you can get for free. And we all have Gmail and Yahoo and God forbid AOL or whatever. What they're looking for is something like info@creditsuite.com. Not creditsuite.com or creditsuite@gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Mm-hmm.
Or worse, and I've seen this, partydude2000 at Yahoo. Yeah, you put that on a credit application, you're getting denied.
Right.
That they're not even going to look at the rest of it. And it's not even it's artificial intelligence. It's just seeing it, deleting it, marking it as potential fraud. So they're not even looking at it.
So we said, so a solution for that, that's an easy one, is, what do we talk about? Credit, not credit,
G Suite.
G Suite. Is that free also?
No, I think it's $10. Or just listen, you can go to GoDaddy.
$10 is free. I mean,
pretty much. Yeah. I mean, you could go to GoDaddy, register a URL. Like I still have soldin73days.com for when I was selling homes in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. And just info@soldin73days.com. I think it cost me $19 a year for the email.
Right.
And it forwards to my Gmail. Because look, I'm a Gmail lover. I love Gmail. It's great. Right. It's on my phone. But you don't want to put that on a credit application.
Right.
You want to look professional. And here's how I like to present it. And you're going to get some of the other factors I'm talking about. If Walmart came to you, Walmart purchasing, you get a call out of the blue, and they want you to be a financial advisor to their store employees, right? And the bill is going to be $100,000 a year to do this, to create this program. And they say, great, we'd like to have credit for that. Okay, we'll pay you in terms. And you say, great, fill out a credit application. And here's what shows up on the credit application. Walmart Incorporated. The address is a P.O. box. The phone number is a cell phone. And the email is walmartpurchasing@yahoo.com.
Right.
How comfortable would you be giving them $100,000 in credit?
Not very.
Right, right. You're looking for Arkansas for a headquarters. You're looking for an 800 number. You're looking for purchasing@walmart.com.
Right.
Right. So reverse it. Think about it the other way. Right.
Yeah.
I can buy a throwaway cell phone. I can open a P.O. box. Right.
Right.
So you have to see it from a lender's point of view. They're looking for legitimate business. They want to give you credit. They really want to give it to you. Because they want you to do business with them, but they don't want to be beat. So the email is one of the first things they look for. One of the second things they look for, and we discussed this, when you ask most business owners for their phone number, what do they usually give you, Kurt?
Their cell phone.
Exactly, because we're attached to the hip. Problem is, there's a little database called the National 411 database, and those of you who are old like me and Kurt remember picking up our phone, dialing 411, and asking for Joe's Pizza or Tom's mechanic shop down the street.
Funny, yes.
Right. Matter of fact, I'm old enough to remember dialing it. Click, 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 click.
Yeah, me too. I hate it.
So that database still exists. Millennials aren't even aware of it. It still exists today, and the artificial intelligence checks that immediately to see if you're legitimately a business. Well, the problem is you can't list a cell phone. It has to be a landline or a voice over IP. And whenever I bring this up at live events, people go, "Oh, like Google, like a Google voice," which I have. Mm-hmm. And I always say the same thing. You're on the right street, you're going the wrong direction. Because Google owns that number. They can take it from you at any time they want.
Right.
Anytime they want. If you're not paying for it, it's not yours. Okay, so in order to list it, you need to pay for your phone number. And you can go to a company like Ring Central. Mm-hmm. And that'll forward to your cell phone. You can get an 800 number from there and a local number, and they're all listable with the National 411 database.
It's funny because it costs money to be in business, right? And so a lot of people are working from home and doing that. And I come from a brick and mortar world. My family in the supermarket, we're in a tavern business, and people say, "Oh, so and so this service is $50 a month, $100 a month." Hell, my electric bill was $1,300. And so you tell me dumb stuff like that. I was like, it's supposed to tell me, "Oh, it costs this." It's like, listen, it costs $1,500 to run my office, with the rent and electric and the supplies. So, I mean, it costs money to be in business. So first thing is grow up.
Right. Exactly. And I, as you know, we discussed, I come from the same background. My grandfather, my father, and I were all in the printing industry. Yeah. Well, you can't be a virtual printer.
Right.
I went to work. We had printing presses and the whole deal. And that's just the world we grew up in.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand a lot of this virtual stuff, and we had to pay for everything.
Right.
So when I talk to business owners, and I talk to them every day, hundreds of them, and they almost all use their cell phone and have a Yahoo or Gmail. And I'm like, look, are you in business or you're not? Is it a hobby
Right.
or is it a business?
Right.
So if you're going to be in business, be in business. And that's how the lenders see it. They see it exactly the same way. Just because you feel like you have a strong company, if you don't look like a company to them, you're not.
Wow. Okay.
All right. And
Yep.
that's just one or two examples. I mean, we touched on the address. Don't have a P.O. box for an address. Do not have a P.O. box. Look, if you're a landlord, and I was, yeah, you don't want people knowing where you are. You don't want tenants showing up at your house, obviously, but you can get a virtual office. You can get an office in downtown Philadelphia with Regis or Alliant.
So you're maybe paying a couple. So what you're saying is like a Regis, you're paying, even if you don't go there, like there's different levels of it, right? You could go there, have an office, you can pay a couple $100 a month.
Right.
Maybe. I haven't done this. I haven't need to do this, but
I think it's like 95. It depends on the city you're in. Obviously, New York City is going to be more than Houston. It's going to be more than Tallahassee. But they're look around. They're there.
Right.
And what people don't realize is they're not the same as a PO box or a UPS box, which is the new big thing. UPS box. In the 70s, when you and I were still in high school.
Yes. Middle school. I was
middle school. Yeah. So was I. I was born in the 60s. So anyhow, in the 70s, that industry sued to be recognized as an actual office address. They didn't want it because the SIC code that was applied to them was PO box. Right? So they sued and they won. They were successful. So that industry is recognized as a legitimate office address. So if you don't want people to have your home address, and I'm going to tell you why they're going to be able to find out where you live in a second, you want to get a virtual office. I don't care if you're a consultant. I don't care what you do. Have an office, and it can't be the back room at Uncle Joey's grocery store.
Right.
It's got to be your address. You can't, and I see this a lot. My cousin Joe has a mechanic shop. I rent one of his offices. No, because the post office only recognizes one business at that address.
Okay.
It has to be your address. Business credit is reported based on your address. So what will happen is if you begin to build your business credit profile and the lender or creditor goes to report, the credit reporting agencies will see that address come up and be like, well, we're not sure if it's you or the other businesses there, so we just won't report anything.
Okay.
So you've wasted your time. All right, so the address is important. I can't believe I have to say this, but I really do. I know this is going to blow your mind. If you're in business, open a business bank account.
How about that? You shouldn't have to say that, but
I just look, and this is going to take me down a whole nother rabbit hole of shelf corporations, which don't do. But in this day and age, they can tell when you opened your bank account. There's something called a bank credit score.
Okay.
They can get the information. What the bank credit score is, it talks about what your average balance is over the last 90 days. It's a 1 through 5. So up to 50,000, over 50,000, under 50,000, all the way down. It also tells when you open the bank account. So if you say you've been in business 20 years and your bank account was open last week, guess what? You've been in business 1 week.
Okay. Wow.
Right? It's from a lender's point of view. Okay. There's a credit report out there that most people don't know about. You probably do, called LexisNexis. Have you ever heard of LexisNexis?
Yeah, I have actually. Yep.
LexisNexis, the way I describe LexisNexis is they are the CIA of credit reporting agencies. Anything you've ever done, they know about it. You should pull your report sometime. It's free. Matter of fact, if you go to our website, we'll show you how to get one for free. You can pull your report. Mine looks like an encyclopedia.
Give them your site since you said that right there. So I'm going to put in the show notes, but tell them why they're listening to it now.
Creditsuite.com.
Okay.
SUITE.com. So LexisNexis has all your information, including every bank account you've owned, every business you've owned, every business bank account that you've been involved with, every car you've ever owned, what color it was, what the registration numbers were. So these banks have access to this information. These lenders have access to this information. So if you tell me you've been in business 20 years and the LexisNexis report shows your business checking account opened 5 months ago, they're going to detect fraud. They're going to think fraud and just deny you. So don't buy a shelf corporation either.
Okay.
That worked back in the day. It doesn't work anymore. They'll actually mark your business credit report as fraudulent, and you'll never be able to get that removed.
I had a person that will call me from time to time, and he would, I'm building business credit. He had all these corporations. I was like, well, do you actually sell anything? I mean, you need to have a business. A corporation is not a business, and he wasn't getting that. And I don't think he was doing anything fraudulent, but he just didn't connect the dots that you really have to be generating revenue, because when you're building it, they want to know you can pay them back,
Right. And I'll tell you that brings up a great point. Business credit is not replacement for bad personal credit. You don't need to have good personal credit to build business credit, but I see people that start companies to build business credit just so they don't have to pay the bill.
Mm-hmm.
They're fraud. They're committing fraud is what they're doing.
Yeah.
But that's not what this is about. This is about to help your business grow.
Right. Because you have to be responsible, and because see that I used to do on the personal side. We used to say your credit report is a written verification of your integrity.
Correct.
It's a privilege, because people have extended you credit, and your score, good or bad, is a reflection of, how I used to do like first time homebuyer class and said, listen, your credit report is, did somebody loan you money? Did you pay them back? And if you did, you'll have a good score. And if you didn't, it's going to be challenged, and that's the cost of money, right? And so business is different, but it's still, because banks are in business to loan money, but they want to get it back. So you just need to look good. You need to know what they're looking for back, going back to the fundability factor, you need to look good. And so you need to, so this goes back to, that's kind of what I'm working with people, is to teach them how to build a strong personal and business economy so that you can get access to other people's money, and so that you have the cash flow to pay them back. Like, they really go hand in hand, because our whole monetary system is built on debt. So you need to learn how to manage debt, or use debt, because debt is money right now. We have Federal Reserve notes. So,
yeah, let's be honest, there is no money anymore.
There's no money. And so it's debt. So, the thing is, you've got to use it, but you've got to use it. You got to play the game like the trucker, right? You want to be able to use it to buy a real thing that throws off cash flow, or to float your money so that you can collect money so you can pay them. It's a whole thing, but you have to be a really good money manager and manager of cash flow. It's a lot of moving parts, and business owners, it's even more important that, because you can't take your bad habits. Like, if you say, look, I'm gonna get business credit because my bad credit. Well, bad credit is a result. So all you're doing is you're just move your bad habits into an environment where you can make more money and just get yourself into more troubles.
And here's the thing. I like to be clear about this because people get really confused. I get these calls all the time. Hey, I want to build my business credit because I'm looking for a $500,000 line of credit. And they go right to that, right to a $500,000 line of credit.
Right.
And I go, okay, why don't you explain to me why you need a $500,000 line of credit? And they give all these rigmaroles. I want this, I want that, I want this. And then when I break it down, what they really need is about $20,000 because they're buying gas. They don't need a credit line for gas. You can get a fleet credit card. They're buying, they're spending money on marketing. You can use a Visa, MasterCard, American Express to pay for that. They're buying vehicles. No, go ahead and get one in the company name. So when people, and we all do this because I think we were raised this way, that, a loan is a loan. Line of credit, homeowner, a HELOC. Right. You can create your own line of credit if you, like that trucker did, if you utilize other companies. And they're going to be a lot less stringent approving your credit than a bank will. You go to a bank that's FDI insured, they've got to do their due diligence. They're going to look at you. They're going to look at your business. They're going to look at everything. But if you go to get approved for, let's say, I'm going to use a classic example, Sam's Club. We all know who Sam's Club is, right? Walmart. Yeah. People don't realize they have a traveling MasterCard there. And what I mean by traveling MasterCard is you can use it anywhere, not just Sam's Club. And their limits tend to start at $15,000 and go up. And they issue it in the business name, right? So why would you go to a bank to get a $25,000 loan when you can get a Sam's Club card that's a MasterCard for $25,000? And they're not even going to look at you personally.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's revolving.
Listen, that's a writer. That's a big tip, guys. I hope you are listening to that.
Now, none of you are ready for that yet, because you have to have at least 15 trade lines reporting on your business credit report. Okay. That's an end game card, not a beginning game.
Scratch that then.
Right.
Okay, you got to start at the beginning. Baby steps.
But my point is, and I bring that up because that's where people always go down that road. I want a line of credit, and they don't realize how dangerous a line of credit is.
Right.
It's like going to casino and asking for a line of credit. You don't want that.
See, I like that you start there because, one of the things that we do with people is, it's like, what's your vision? What do you want to do, right? And what are you trying to accomplish is a better word, as you said. And then use like, all right, well, now let's see why. And then let's see where you are. And then you pick the program. to get started with,
Right.
And you have to, because that's kind of what I do. Is like people say, well, I want to invest. I was like, well, what for? Money's to do something. And investing is like, if I have like a 5-step process, investing is step 5. Like there's like 4 things you do before I'll even let you think about it. It seems like your process is the kind of the same way, more of a educational and let's look, get your stuff together so you don't hurt yourself, basically.
Right. And I'm going to use real estate because obviously that's my background. When I started flipping properties, because I came out of a manufacturing world, I understood business credit. I understood how important it was. But I also understood that it was available. Most people don't even know it's available. So when I started flipping properties and I decided I was going to start buying supplies for my contractors as opposed to letting them buy it and mark it up, I would cut my expenses. Well, I started utilizing Home Depot and Lowe's to fund my construction. I let them fund it.
Okay.
Let them give me the business credit. And then I was able to, now there's a reason I did this, because hard money lenders will lend you money to buy a property at high interest rate. They'll also lend you money to do construction. And then they give it to you via a draw as you're finishing up, like 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
Right.
Well, I didn't want to put my money into that deal. I didn't want to put any of my money in.
Right.
So I put Home Depot's money in. I put Lowe's money in. I put, whatever Visa card. I don't remember who it was Chase. Doesn't matter. Then when I got my draws from the hard money company, I would take that money. Remember, it was not mine. And I went and bought 3 more properties with it. I didn't pay off the credit cards. I sold the house, paid off the credit cards, but now I have 3 more properties under contract.
Right.
And I scaled it. That's how I got to 300 properties in 2 years.
See, that's velocity, right? Or burr, like keeping money moving that's a whole other thing. Because I teach what you talked about versus accumulating. Hoping compound interest makes you money, whereas you've got to keep money in motion. So that's a
exactly, and that's just one example. And we talked about that with the truck driver. He used the fuel company to finance him getting a brand new truck or a second truck, so he can double his income. So that's how you have to look at business credit. It's your opportunity being a small company, if you have a small company, if you're listening, to compete with the big boys.
Yeah.
Because they're going to finance it for you. So take advantage of it. Use what they're willing to give you.
Let me ask you this. I appreciate your time today. So you have I want to kind of build this in because I like processes. Like, so you have I don't know if you can do all 4, but you have a 4-step formula for building business credit, even if you have none right now. Can you share a little bit about that? Or
A 4-step, did you say a 4-step process?
4-step formula for building business credit that works even if you have none.
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, the first step is you got to set up your fundability factors. You got to make sure you're set up so that you're legitimate. Okay.
Step 1.
And that's really where our advisors are key. They look at everything. They search the internet, make sure everything matches. If you've never done this, you being the listeners, go to your Secretary of State, look and see what they report about you. You could just easily search it. Go to your Secretary of State's website, look up your business name. Then while that's open a new tab and then go to dnb.com. The letter D like dog, the word and then B like boy.com, and search your company name there and see if they match. See if the addresses are the same. See if the names are spelled the same. Is there a comma in this one, not in that one? We find that 98% don't match.
Okay.
Well, if they don't match, you can't even get out of the starting gate. Okay. Now, if they don't even recognize that you exist at DNB, there's your opportunity. Go ahead and register for your DUNS number. This is free information, ladies and gentlemen, and I will tell you this right now. Dun & Bradstreet has the best telemarketers in the world. They will convince you the sky is falling, ground is burning if you don't buy their $900 program. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. You don't need it. Okay? They'll step you down to $497 to verify who you are. And let me tell you how they verify who you are. They ask you.
So, $500 for that. Wow.
Yep. Right. So you don't need it. Okay. And I'm sure Dun & Bradstreet probably hates me for saying this, but it's true. You really don't need it. Back in the day, you probably remember this. You used to buy the Dun & Bradstreet books. They had all the businesses listed.
I remember that. Yes.
That's how I started my sales career, was using those books to call on people in Manhattan.
Yes.
Anyhow, so go to DNB and register and get your DUNS number, DUNS, your DUNS number. They're required by law to give it to you for free. Do not have to pay for it. Okay. Experience, a whole different thing. It's a BINS number. That's a little advanced. We can talk about that later. All right. So you want to get your DUNS number. That's step 2. So in other words, you want to be able to have a place to have it monitored.
Okay.
Step 3 would be going to your initial creditor, and I gave you one already, Quill, and apply. Now, I will tell you, if you're new or you have nothing reporting, when I say new, you're under 2 years old in business, you're considered high risk. So they may have you buy from them 2, sometimes even 3 times before they'll issue you credit. The minimum to report is $50, so spend $51.
Okay.
Okay. You may get approved right out of the gate. It just depends.
Is this what Quill? Spend $51?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You got to spend $51.
It's like paper, ink, whatever,
coffee
whatever,
supplies.
Right. Okay.
You got it. Yeah, actually, toilet paper, paper towels. And I tell people, look, buy something you're going to use.
Right.
Like, don't just waste the money. Buy something you're actually going to use.
They might be in stock.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So now that's step 3. Step 4 is you need to monitor your credit report. How do you do that? Right. Well, you could go to D&B and pay $150 to pull your business credit report. You can go to Experian and pay $50, and you go to Equifax and pay $50. Or you can go to Credit Suite and get our NAV integration. NAV is another company that talks about business credit. And you can go to NAV directly if you'd like. For $24, you can get all 3 reports. $24 per month. Like I said, if you go to D&B directly, they're going to charge you $149.
Okay.
For that same report. So you need to monitor your credit report. Just like if you're building your personal credit, you need to monitor what's going on.
Right.
So you know what adjustments to make.
Right.
Once you have 3 trade lines reporting, 3 to 5, a paydex score will be generated at Dun & Bradstreet, and Experian only takes 1. You can go from a 28 IntelliScore to a 90 with 1 trade line. And that literally is the difference between you look like you're going bankrupt or we recommend you for $5,000 in credit. That's something else that people don't realize. The business credit reporting agencies actually recommend a credit limit for your company. What's cool is it grows exponentially. So as you're adding trade lines, the number goes up. So you'll start off at 1,000. When I do my webinars, I show examples of a credit of one company in Philadelphia, as a matter of fact, that they started off being recommended for 1,000, then it went to 5,000, then it went to 12,500, then it went to 150,000, then it went to 500,000.
Is this you getting offers in the mail, or is it the same companies? Like you start getting bigger offers?
Yeah, exactly. It's very similar. So the reporting agencies actually on your credit report says recommended credit amount. It says it right on your credit report, which brings me back to your address. I can pull your business credit report right now. It's not like personal credit where I have to have your permission. I can pull your business credit report right now if I want to pay the fee. Problem is, on your business credit report is a picture of your office. So if you're living in a trailer and you put that as your business address, there's going to be a picture of your trailer on your business credit reports. I just say that. I say that in jest, but you really, look, if you're projecting a certain image, let's say you're a financial advisor, but you live in, I don't know, you just happen to want to live in your mom's house that you grew up in. She passed away, and you're living in this little cubicle in, I don't know, downtown Camden, right? But you're worth millions, but that's where you want to live. If I pulled your business credit report and saw your house in Camden and be like, I ain't giving you my money. You see what I mean? And that's no disparage on Camden. I love Camden. I owned a lot of properties. I'm just trying to make a point. If you are projecting a certain image, wouldn't it be better to have a high-rise glass building on your credit report as a picture, right? People don't realize that. I can easily pull your credit report, and it shows me exactly where your office is, and it shows me a picture of it.
Let's say this came to me as you said that. So I am a insurance agent, real estate agent, real estate like a home-based. Well, everybody's home-based now, but you know what I mean. Is there a couple things that they can do to kind of, because they're all using their cell phone, Gmail, whatever. So they can get a business account, for example. Well, I guess we said it, because they can get a Regis account. I mean, you're going to have to do some of that if you really want to have access to business credit. You got to make money and then do some of this other stuff, I guess.
Well, yeah, because in Pennsylvania, you can be an LLC as a real estate agent. Jersey, you can't. You have to be an individual, so you couldn't build business credit. Florida, you can. I have my license in Florida. It's actually Stephen Wible, PA, right? I have a virtual address, business checking account. I have a virtual phone number. Everything set up like a business. Okay. So yes, you can. If you're working out of your house, you can do that. Now, I'm not saying you can't build business credit using your home. I just wanted people to be aware that I can easily see your home if that's your office. Okay?
That's not what you want.
Some people don't care. Some people do. I know as a real estate investor, I had a big property in South Jersey, and the idea of somebody showing up at my gates I had a gated property. I just didn't want tenants showing up there.
Right.
So I had an office in the city where I was investing, and that's where they came to my business address. Like we talked about at the beginning, either you're in business or you're not, right? So, and being in business costs money. It's not free. However, the good news is being in business, you can use other people's money, other businesses' money. So take advantage of it. And I guarantee you, your listeners probably haven't heard of 80% of what I'm talking about. It's just not out there. They don't teach it. You know, I remember when I was in school, they taught us how to balance a checkbook. I bet they don't teach that in school anymore.
Absolutely. Listen, I did a class at University of Pennsylvania for these sophomores, juniors. And I said, how many of you have ever had this is Penn now, okay? Right, kids. It was a sorority. And how many of y'all ever had a personal finance course? None of them. From high school through their junior year in college. I mean, and they're going to come out in their mind making 80, 100 grand a year. They're going to come out in debt, and they don't know
how to manage it.
Down, how to manage it. And they don't teach it, you know. And I was just having a conversation with my niece the other night. I said, listen, you're taught, go to school, get education, get a good job. So it's go into debt, work for money, you know. And I said, I had her reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. I said, what's the first chapter in Rich Dad Poor Dad? And, rich people don't work for money. What does that mean? You know, I'm quizzing her, but, you know, they use other people's money and they work for passive income, not earned income. See, it's a whole bunch of stuff that you got to know. But if you don't know that, you're indentured servant. And so you've got to learn money, and credit is an integral part of that. So, you know, you hear like the Ramses of the world say, get out of debt. You're not trying to get out of debt. You need to get into more debt. You just got to understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. That's why your conversation, Steve, is so important. If you're going to expand, you can't just do it out of, you know, retained earnings. You've got to be a good steward of your money. But you've got to learn how to make money, and then you've got to learn how to use other people's money. And I think that we got to get you back on.
Yeah, we killed that 15 minutes, didn't we?
Right. There's a lot of this is a big conversation, but I love talking business and money, so that's what my show's about. But but how to make money and how to just be a good steward of your money and how to expand. And that's where I think our why what you do is so important. As you why, because we I could talk to you all day, but we got to bring this to a close. But
yeah.
Any closing words of wisdom for our listeners for our take us home, and also where would you, if they want to find out more about you, what would you want them to do?
Well, they can reach me directly at Stephen@creditsuite.com. That's Stephen with a PH. STEPHEN. I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has. No high pressure sales or anything like that. I'm happy to help people if they have questions. Okay, my friends. One of the things I love about this company is we give a lot. If you go to our YouTube channel, there's 4,000 videos.
Wow.
We're taking people who can't afford to do what we do and showing them how to do it anyway.
Okay.
I mean, that we like to go into schools and teach people. And that's one of the reasons I work here. Like I said, it's my first job. I've never had a job in my life, but I love teaching people. I just love it. As long as they listen.
Right.
And don't try and do shortcuts. But anyway, so what I always say when people ask me this, and I get asked this a lot, I had to really think about it. And one thing I learned through all the business that I had, and even though my real estate business collapsed in 2008 like everybody else's did, I was proud of the fact that while it was collapsing, I was trying to grow it.
Right.
I had 38 properties under construction in South Jersey and Philadelphia. Right. It was a gamble that I lost on, but I don't care. I'd do it again tomorrow. Because here's what I'm talking about. If you're not growing, you're going backwards.
Yeah.
Our cost of living goes up X% per year, 3%, 4%, whatever it is. So if you're hanging on to your money, you're going backwards. So you need to leverage and grow. You cannot do it. Listen, don't you remember when we were young, to be a millionaire was a big deal, right?
Yes.
Man, I want to be a millionaire. Nobody says that anymore.
Right.
They want to be billionaires because $1 million isn't worth whatever. I mean, we paid $15,000 for our house in Acco, New Jersey. $15,000.
Yeah, my parents paid $13,000 at 2% for 30 years.
I hate to say this. I just paid $400,000 for a house almost the same size.
Yeah.
So the point is, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
You're going backwards. So learn to leverage other people's money. Take advantage of every opportunity that's given to you. Take a risk. Take a shot. Don't put yourself in hock. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you need to be growing. because I see great businesses that are gone, right? Gone. They never grew. Think of all the local stores you thought of when you were a kid that you knew when you were a kid. How many of them are around?
Yeah, they're gone. Kmart's going out,
Yeah.
And you only coast downhill. And so if you're not growing, you're dying. And so you have to, so we always say, your number one asset is you. So you have to work on your mindset, skill set, and your network. So you have, one of the things talking about is I'm glad you gave so much information, because this is a time, if you're stuck, you should be cleaning up your systems, getting yourself organized, because when we come out on the other side of this, there are people that are sitting around in the fetal position, sucking their thumb, and you can gain market share if you stay focused and keep working. And that's our message for you during this, hopefully when the show airs, we'll be out of the Corona thing. But if not, then this will still be timely.
Yeah, take advantage of it. Exactly.
Take advantage of it.
I'm learning a new skill right now.
Get your ass to work. Right.
I really am. I'm home because I can't sit still, so I'm teaching myself. So I don't want to say what I'm doing, but I'm teaching myself something else so that, listen, I want to be well versed in that particular item. It has to do with finance.
Yeah.
But I'm learning more about SBA loans than I ever have in the last 30 days.
Exactly.
Speaking of that, you know what? If this is aired during that time, if you're having a difficult time getting that PPP program as the payroll protection program, reach out to us. Go to info@creditsuite.com, because a lot of banks who were bailed out in 2008 suddenly are like, they don't want to help anybody, right? So we found community banks around the country that are stepping to the plate and are helping people. So if you need an introduction, we're happy to introduce you to banks that are getting this program out there.
All right, that's awesome. Steve, thanks again for dropping serious knowledge on our listeners today, and so I'm excited to. Can't wait. I'll let you know when the show drops. We'll have all of Steve's information in the show notes. And guys, thank you for listening to another episode of the Practical Wealth Show. Give us a call. Give Steve a call, and let's get you on the road to financial independence. Thanks again.
Thanks for listening to Practical Wealth. To access the show notes and resources, go to practicalwealthshow.com. To get your questions on the show, go to practicalwealthshow.com. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before you make any investment decisions, consult a professional. This show is copyrighted by Practical Wealth. Written permission must